From the very first second we exist, we are borrowers. Nothing truly belongs to us. Before this body, we had to borrow elements from our father and mix them with elements from our mother. They came together to form a tiny life, a guest in the womb. And that was the beginning of the great loan. We grow by borrowing from the world around us, the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, the energy from the sun. These elements become our blood, our bones, our skin, and our hair. We take from nature to build this body, and then we return it to the earth as waste, in a cycle that lasts our entire lives. But somewhere along the way, we forget. We forget this body is just borrowed, and we start clinging to it, calling it mine. This is where the great misunderstanding begins. When feelings become the master. Just being alive isn't enough for us. We want more. We want to feel good. So we start inventing things. We reshape nature's elements into houses, cars, clothes, and countless gadgets. All of it is for one single purpose: to create the feeling of pleasure and to avoid the feeling of pain. We build houses to escape the heat and cold. We build cars so we don't have to walk. We create money to trade for our desires. We write laws to protect what we think is ours. But the story doesn't end there. Once our basic needs are met, we start using these creations in ways we never intended, hoping to squeeze out even more pleasure. A house, once just a shelter, becomes a symbol of wealth. A car, once just for travel, becomes a tool for showing off. Money, once just for trade, becomes the measure of a person's worth. And laws, once for protection, become instruments of control. We use the things we've created to compare and to divide. The very tools that were meant to make life better become weapons we use against each other. The things we created to escape suffering ended up creating new kinds of it. Life gets more and more complicated, but happiness just comes and goes. Pain just comes and goes. We forget this simple truth and just struggle harder. The trap we dig for ourselves. The harder we try, the further we seem to get from what we're looking for. How long does that happiness we chase actually last? Does the pain we run from ever truly leave? We dig, drill, burn, and build, destroying the natural world just to get a temporary emotional fix. But the more we struggle, the more nature degrades. When nature degrades, everyone's life gets worse. Fear grows, and we struggle even harder. It's like we're tearing down our own house while still trying to live in the ruins. We're caught in a trap we dug for ourselves, and we don't even see it. Feeling trapped. When our suffering doesn't decrease, when it actually gets worse, we start looking for someone to blame. We start pointing fingers. We form tribes, we compete, we push each other down, and we destroy one another. We're like passengers on a sinking ship who, instead of plugging the holes, are fighting over the captain's chair. We never stop to ask ourselves the most basic question: why are we even doing all of this? The answer is simple. We just want to feel good and not feel bad. We let feelings become our masters, bossing us around in an endless cycle of chasing pleasure and running from pain. The simple truth: every feeling, whether it's pleasure or pain, just comes and then it goes. It's like the wind that blows by, the clouds that drift across the sky, or the waves that crash on the shore. Nothing is permanent. Nothing can be held onto. Pleasure is temporary. Pain is temporary. This body we call mine is temporary. And in the end, everything we have borrowed, our body, our feelings, our thoughts, our possessions, our reputation, all of it will fall apart and return to nature, earth to earth, water to water, fire to fire, wind to wind. All the borrowed elements must be returned. It doesn't matter if we lived a life of fame or a life of shame. Every feeling and this physical body will end in the exact same way. So if that's the truth, how do we live with it? Waking up, maybe the answer isn't about getting more or rejecting everything. Maybe it's about finally standing up and facing the things that have been running our lives. Feelings, thoughts, attachments. Try looking at them. Just look. Don't fight them, don't look away, and don't run. You'll see the pain twisting you, telling you it's unbearable. You'll see the pleasure lulling you into a sweet daydream. You'll see thoughts and attachments pulling you away from this very moment. You don't have to do anything. Just notice it all. Gently. Notice it when it arrives. Let it play its part. And notice it when it leaves. This is the difference between knowing as someone who is awake and being lost as someone who is asleep. This calm awareness is the birthplace of wisdom. When we understand the nature of feelings, we stop struggling so hard. When we understand we are just borrowers, we use what we have wisely. When we understand that everything is temporary, we stop clinging so tightly. We don't have to stop living, we just have to stop being lost. Stop being lost in the idea that outside things can complete us. Stop being lost in the fight against pain and the chase for pleasure. And start learning to be truly, fully alive. This is the beginning of real happiness, a happiness that doesn't come from fighting an unwinnable war. And that is true freedom. And it's been here all along. If you feel good after listening, don't forget to share it with your loved ones, follow and press the bell. Let's grow together with understanding, not perfection.